family, and I wanted to listen to them sing. So they sang the night before, and they were going to go with them to the meeting in John Day. I was excited to hear them, but I had so much to do and I couldn't go. So as I came over with the pile of papers, I saw that they were trying to get out of the resource center. They were running behind. They had timed it that everybody was leaving in every 10 minutes for safety purposes, because we knew that things were kind of ramped up because the media had now left, and that's not a good sign. I went to help them as I saw them trying to scamper around, trying to get dressed in their fancy clothes, get into their van, and I went to help, and I put down my stuff, and I went over there and helped them get into the van. Then it was time. Victoria wasn't there, and neither was the little boy. So we sent somebody down to the bunkhouse to get them to get in the van because the mother was panicking. The little boy came, Stefan. But Victoria wasn't ready. She was in the shower. She's 18. You know, you got to be beautiful. So she came. Within those 10 minutes, we were trying to get the next vehicle out. It was Lavoie's. I was helping Ryan pack the cameras and things into the back of the truck. And Victoria showed up with wet hair, and we put her into the truck. We looked for the camera guy. David was nowhere to be found, but we need to leave now. I said, okay, I really wanted to go, but I don't have time, but we have to leave right now, so I will go with you. I put the stuff in my car, grabbed the notebook, grabbed my camera, and jumped in the truck. I'm texting all the way down the road for 30 miles, and I was trying to call my friend who lived in John Day. For 3 weeks, I had told her I was coming to see her, and I never made it. So I said, go to the senior center. They're going to have this awesome concert, and I'm going to be there. Well, then immediately I have no cell service. And right after that, Ryan Payne says, it's a setup. Or Lavoie said it's a setup. Ryan Payne turns and he looks, and we see this whole string of unmarked vehicles and trailers, and unmarked vehicles was a little scary for me because this is what we had seen in Bunkerville at the Bundy Ranch. Lavoie said it's an ambush. No, Ryan said it was an ambush. And so we kept going down the road, but we watched those vehicles. They pulled around behind, and we had the Jeep close behind us. And Lavoie looks in the rearview mirror, and he said, why are they slowing down? Because we could see these cars coming out from behind that side road, snowy road, and we were a little bit worried about why the Jeep was stopping. We needed to get to John Day. We needed to get to a safety place. We needed to get to the sheriff. And as they came up around, that Jeep just stopped, pulled off the side of the road, and Lavoie wasn't going to stop. And suddenly, Ryan Payne says, you got to stop. Ryan Payne rolls down the window and puts his hands out. Victoria's up by now. She's awake. We can see this red laser. Cling, and I hear the bullet hit. Ryan Payne recoils back into the truck. Are you shot? He said no. But immediately he starts arguing with Lavoie. Lavoie's going, well, I'm getting it. We're going to the sheriff. We're going to the sheriff. Ryan does a very strange things, and when they're arguing back and forth, because he knows that these guys can outrun us. It's an icy road, and he immediately goes into survival mode. He jumps out because he wants to protect us. He throws his hands into the air, and he screams back at the people behind us, and he says, there's women in the vehicle. and they yell something to him, and they said, get out. Are you kidding? I look at Victoria, and her eyes are like saucers, and she says, I'm not getting out. They're shooting at us. I said, I'm not getting out either, and I'm not leaving her. So they take Ryan into custody. They make him walk backwards, and anyway, and then I can't see him. Ryan Bundy says, what do we do? I said, we get out our very best weapons. And I reach to the floor, and I pick up my camera. Do you know what happened at the Bundy Ranch? We had cameras. We had our very best weapons. Do you know a picture's worth 1,000 words? We learned that because that's what backed off the BLM when we were down in Nevada. We had all that evidence because we had everybody with cameras and voices. Ryan turns on his cell phone, and then you'll hear me, and how many of you already seen my video? The whole world saw my video, right? You probably saw it before I ever saw it. I was in jail. When I got out of that truck, and I'm not going to go through the whole deal about the video, okay? But they fired on us before that camera was ever brought forward. When we get down to the end of the road, and we're stuck in the snow, and I have to turn that camera off, then it's time that I have to get out of the vehicle. Now, in the video, it shows that I'm trying to get Victoria out first. Now, look, I'm not throwing her to the wolves. That's not what that plan was. My plan was they aren't going to shoot her. I already knew that they were trying to kill Ryan Bundy. Lavoy and I knew that they wanted to take them out. And that first shot came through the back, not to Lavoy. And he was trying to protect him. And that's why he jumped out of that vehicle. And he leapt into the snow. I have a camera up here. I can't see the screen, but I can see with my eyes. And those pictures are burned in my brain. The things that are happening. And lasers are everywhere in that vehicle. Why were they shooting at us for 12 minutes? Even after they killed Lavoy, they continued to shoot at us. Does that make sense? They weren't there. They were there. We weren't supposed to be there. I don't even believe they knew that we were there. Because it was a last second thing. This was a kill zone. Yeah. I went out of that truck. And as I hit the ground, I had this broken foot. Because of this book. The Lord told me to write it and I didn't do it fast enough. So I was trying to go through the tracks in the snow because it was too hard for me to bend my foot. And that tire was just spinning, and I could see it already had spun a big block of ice underneath that track. And as I got out and I looked up, I saw the truck was still running. I knew it was a stick shift because he didn't even have time to take it out of gear. I looked over and I see Lavoy laying in the snow. And I know he's dead. And I say, you have just killed an innocent man. And you will be held accountable, every one of you. As we walk to the top of that hill, Victoria is in cuffs and zip ties. When I get to the top, they put cuffs on me. At that moment, as I was walking up, they had asked me 5 times, who else is in the vehicle? Nobody. Nobody else is in the vehicle. Nobody. I'm the last one. And when I got to the top of that hill and they put the cuffs on me, they opened fire on that truck and blew all the windows out, the rest of them. It made no sense to me. I don't understand. So after we're there for 2.5 hours singing songs, trying to keep her from going into shock, those types of things, they finally take us, put us in a van, and they take us down to where the other men are. We sit there for 3 more hours. 9:30 at night before we leave. I'm telling you that God was protecting us. But I know of one thing for sure. They did not know. They did not have a warrant. They did not know that we were going to be there. And that's why they held us so long. They had already shot Ryan in the shoulder. And only because of God has led us to these trials. It is because he has to show his hand. Lavoy gave his life to defend us. And he knew that what he was doing was right. He had made that conscious decision that he needed to stand and protect the Constitution, defend the Constitution, preach the Constitution, and protect these young men who had children. He said that. These are young men who have children. I have to defend them. We're older. Our children are grown. He is one of many. He won in a court because Ryan and I knew that the Lord told us that we needed to represent ourselves. The lawyers are liars. Okay? Amen. They blocked us. They blocked us. They did everything to stop us. And we didn't let them. Because we knew that the Lord was behind us. And they got so angry at me sometimes that I actually had my co-counsel scream at me in the courtroom and said, "You're going to screw this whole thing up." And I said, "Yes, I am." We have to do whatever it takes. The Lord had told me we weren't going to jail, and I knew it. So it didn't matter what I did. It did. We worked hard. We worked very hard. We had people like Roger Roots. We had people who dedicated their time and their energies and their talents who showed up. We had people that showed up with media. Look, we had people who were like Andrea. All these, and John Lamb, whose hearts were good. They came and they stepped forward, and they didn't get paid. They came because they knew they were supposed to be there. Are you listening to the Spirit to tell you what you're supposed to be doing? You have to stand up. That was the word. We have to stand. So together we stand. We do whatever it takes. So you do whatever it takes. Thanks.